D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? And have I got a story for you? Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can read them for yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm going to read them to you, basically. And yeah. Before I get started, though, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting pushed to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that we got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started? All right, so I wanted to talk about this. It happened on, I believe, Monday. And as you can see, this is from the Daily Mail, and this is concerning Disney and Ron DeSantis in Florida. Now, I don't like to get political and everything, but this was a pretty big story in terms of and I was going to do a video separately about this, but like earlier in the week when it happened, but I got kids and stuff happens and everything. But I did want to talk about it. So, like I said before, this comes from the Daily Mail. It says, Ron DeSantis signs bill stripping Disney's control of Reedy Creek district. Governor celebrates the corporate kingdom coming to an end and orders them repay $700 million in debt and taxes. If you don't know what Reedy Creek is, and I do believe, I'm trying to remember if this article says, it's a piece of land in Florida that basically they just run by themselves. It's like their own country. They run Disney parks, and they have their own fire department and all that stuff. And basically, like, they just do pretty much whatever they want. And they, from what I understand, they don't pay taxes on it. So why don't we go ahead and read this a little bit, and I'll explain and give you my thoughts on it and everything. So it says, Ron DeSantis signed the bill Monday, that's right, Monday, that will dissolve the current Reedy Creek board and give governing to the district back to Florida. The law overhauls the entire formerly self-governing district where Walt Disney World sits and forces residents to pay taxes going forward. Disney loses self-governing status. The state of Florida is the new sheriff in town. Now, so what this means is, okay, so let me get, because it mentions the woke thing here. Okay, so it says Ron DeSantis officially took control of Disney's Reedy Creek Improvement District in his war with the corporate kingdom, in a move that will give him the power to select the board and force them to pay $700 million in taxes and debts. It comes as the governor and Florida's first lady, Casey DeSantis, is it Cassie? I don't know, admitted the irony that they got married at Disney in 2009 and now are in a battle with the woke corporation. And it says right here, DeSantis celebrated with the stroke of his pen, marking the Disney corporate kingdom coming to an end, as he vowed to make the company pay its fair share of taxes. And it says, that's him signing the bill, and says the Sunshine State now has the power over the formerly self-governing special tax exempt district, encompassing the entire Walt Disney World Resort, which was established in 1967. Disney loses self-governing status. The state of Florida, is the new sheriff in town. He said, I'll play the clip in a minute, and said at the press briefing Monday, buckle up, there's a lot to get done. And I think this article mentions it, but if it doesn't, I will mention it. This is him also giving his little thing. Oh, here's the video of it, but I'll play the clip of it. Okay. So here is how it will go. It says, how will Reedy Creek change now DeSantis is in charge? And it says, Reedy Creek will officially dissolve on January 1st, 2023, and be renamed to be Central Florida Tourism Oversight District with the signing of the new legislation on Monday. And it'll have a board and everything. And I think this talks about who's on the board. It's anyways, the legislation amends the current Reedy Creek Improvement District charter established in 1967. This will end Disney's self-governing status, which included control of infrastructure such as roads and buildings in the area. So now if they want to fill potholes, build a new road, build a new bridge, anything like that, they used to just be able to go and do it willy-nilly, no big deal. Now they have to go to this board and they have to be like, can we build this bridge? And the board has to decide if they can or not. And then they have to get permits and all that stuff. And that can take time. Like sometimes it can take months to get permits and all that stuff. It's a lot of paperwork. It's insane. So impose Florida law on the area that has been operating independently for more than 50 years. So this would mean, like, for instance, when there was, during the pandemic, it was the mask mandate and you had to wear a mask everywhere you went. Well, in Florida, they had it to where you didn't have to wear a mask. They were just like, no, we're open. You can go maskless if you want. That's your choice. Well, in Reedy Creek and at Disney, they didn't have to follow that they could mandate on it that you had to wear a mask in their restaurants. It was not an option. And, and people had to deal with it or, just not go to Disney. So it says, let's see, prevent Disney from receiving preferential treatment. I mean, I think that's self-explanatory. And exemption from Florida fire prevention and building codes. So like I said before, they had their own fire department and they basically didn't need permits for a lot of stuff. And now they need to get, I'm pretty sure they did everything to code, but they didn't have to have anybody come in and from the state and inspect it. Stop Disney from skirting state regulation reviews and approvals. Require Disney to pay taxes. That's a big one. They have to pay. Ensure Disney will also pay $700 million in debt. Ensure transparency in the district and prevent leftist leaders in Orlando from raising local taxes. So the thing was, they were all like, oh, well, now the taxpayer is going to have to pay for this. And DeSantis said that it had not. Now, I want to talk about real quick before I get into, I don't think there's too much in this article that I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about how this all went down. I'm going to just move down to this map right here. This is the map of Reedy Creek. Right here, this whole thing, and you can see the Magic Kingdom, the Fortress, Epcot right here, Disney Springs, all that stuff. You can see all of that. I'll come back up to that. I'll just stay right here. So I want to talk about how this all went down. So this all went down because Bob Iger, this is half his fault. He put in what DeSantis is calling woke content, and they have been putting a lot more woke content on Disney with Disney, and there was a meeting that was leaked where one woman from the Proud family, and it's where she said she's trying to input her not so secret gay agenda. And a lot of people took offense to this, especially parents. And Ron DeSantis decided that, okay, we need to do something. And then he put in his parental bill. Gosh, the don't say gay bill that they were calling, and that upset a lot of people on the left. Now, I just want to say right now, when it comes to that, if you go read the bill, it's not there was a lot of hullabaloo about nothing. But a lot of people had a problem with it that worked at Disney because they're part of the LGBTQ whatever community. But most of those people live in California. And what they were going to do was they were going to have them move from California down to Florida because they were moving a lot of their stuff to Florida. I'm going to move this up because so they were moving it up to Florida. Or down to Florida. And a lot of them didn't want to move because they like living in California. I don't see how. That's places like, ugh, gross. So then when this whole thing came out, a lot of the employees were like, hey, Bob Chapek, you need to do something about this. So then he made a statement that they weren't going to get involved. Then he got involved. And then Ron DeSantis was like, all right, you want to get involved. You want to play this game. Fine, let's play. And then all of this went down. So it's partially Bob Iger's fault because he got involved by making the woke content. It's the woke content. And then Bob Chapek got involved because he wanted to get into politics. Before this, Disney would give and now they've ceased all funds to Republican Party and the Democratic Party. And all of this wouldn't have happened if Bob Chapek would have just kept his nose out of it, but he wanted to, he was trying to appease the mob, and it was just a small group of people. And if he would have just left, it alone, this wouldn't be a problem. This wouldn't have been a problem, but he had to put his fingers in the pie because people were, pressuring him to do it. And I don't understand why he listened to those people. But now they're going to have to pay the price for it. And I don't know what this means going forward in terms of Disney staying in Florida, because it's a huge cash cow for Florida, but it's also good for Florida or Disney because they have this park. I mean, I'm planning on going to Florida, to Disney World in Florida. And if it's not in Florida, I don't know if I would go. I mean, if I'm not going to California to Disneyland, F-bomb that idea. I'm not taking my children to that cesspool. I mean, you got like homeless people just like living on the street. I'm pretty sure they're right outside Disney World or land. But that's everything in a nutshell. But it's gotten very like political in terms of like, and Disney, like I said before, Chapek shouldn't have got involved. Iger maybe should have like calmed it down with the rhetoric or whatnot, just kind of slowly eased into it. But some stuff they just went hard. I mean, if you watch that Proud Family episode, it's like crazy. All right. That's all I want to say about this. I just, it's crazy. I really don't like talking about politics, but I felt like this was something that needed to be talked about. And listen, I'm not on Disney's side with this. I'm like, listen, I'm very much like, if you want to play chicken, fine. But it obviously Disney swerved. And I'm all like, you dug your grave. Now you have to lay in it, Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about this whole Ron DeSantis, Reedy Creek situation going down in Florida? Do you think this was a good step in the right direction? Do you think that Disney needed to be held accountable for the content they put out? Or do you think the content they put out was fine and this is just a lot of hullabaloo about nothing? Do you live in Florida and you think this was good for the state? You can tell me how you feel about Ron DeSantis. I have neither here nor there about Ron DeSantis. I don't live in Florida, so this doesn't affect me per se. If he does end up running for president, that will affect me. But we'll see how this all turns out. All right, you guys. Well, that is what I got for you this week. Tell me, what did you guys think about it? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys. You guys have a good week. Bye.